Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. Today, let's delve a little bit more on judgments. What many people fail to realize is that debt collectors, when they sue you, yes, they have a judgment against you. But sometimes they can go ahead and put a lien on your home if the state that you reside in allows it. But of course, only after they go through proper court procedures. Okay? So I will say this, it's not something that's common even in the states that allow it. A lot of times, there are different factors that weigh in. Sometimes after they sue you, they may wait a while before they actually put a lien on the home. When they do so, or when they think about doing so, they normally consider your mortgage and they consider your taxes. Now, they know that the banks are not going to allow them to take money away from them. And a mortgage lien supersedes a debt collector's lien. So what some debt collectors will do is they will pay off the mortgage, right? So that their lien is first. If there's any taxes due, they may pay that as well. But what happens is this, if their lien goes through and they make those payments, not only will you have to pay back what you owe that debt collector, you will also have to pay the debt collector the mortgage in full that they paid off, as well as any taxes. Okay. And in other instances, what their lien does is it will just prevent you from selling your home without clearing that particular debt. That's another thing that happens as well. Let's look at another set of liens that many people are not aware of that can be placed on your home. There is something called super liens, right? Now, I've mentioned in another video that in certain states, the HOA supersedes the tax lien, right? So let's go over some of those states. And sometimes it's not even the state. Sometimes it's the city within the state. For example, New York City HOA liens surpass tax liens. But the rest of the state in New York, that may not necessarily be the case. Okay. Arizona, their tax liens in certain parts, the HOA supersedes that. Okay. But let me go over the list of the other states that you should be aware of. They are Alabama, Alaska, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, the District of Columbia, otherwise known as DC, Florida, we mentioned, Hawaii, Illinois, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Vermont, Washington State, and West Virginia, as of right now, the recording of this particular video. I have to say that and make that distinction because in the future, there may be extra states that will also make the HOA higher than the tax lien, or some of these states that I've mentioned may come off of the list and they may have the tax lien higher than HOA. But as of right now, the states that I've listed, the HOA supersede the tax liens. All right. But there's another set of liens in certain states that supersede the tax lien, and that is the ones that are issued from the Environmental Protection Agency. So if you have something on your property that is disrupting the environment, you can actually be issued a lien from them. But I would say this, I believe with the Environmental Protection Agency, it's mainly properties such as businesses, industrial plants, not so much houses, but it's still possible that you can get a lien from the Environmental Protection Agency if you are in the following states: Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, and Tennessee. Okay, so if you are in those states, you are still able to get an Environmental Protection Agency lien, which is considered a super lien that would be actually above the tax lien. So for those of you who invest in tax liens and tax deeds, you should definitely think about possibly running title, because it will show up in the title report whether or not those super liens are on those properties in those particular states that you're looking at. Okay, now some of you may say, well, what about the homestead exemption? Before I go into it, let me explain to you what a homestead exemption is. A homestead exemption basically helps to protect the home from creditors, but it's particularly more so in the event that, you have a dying spouse who is on the title as being the homeowner, or if a homeowner declares bankruptcy. Okay, this provision provides the surviving spouses with ongoing property tax relief. All right, most states have some form of homestead exemption, but they vary. Okay, they vary. So you really should go on my YouTube channel. I will post the link where you can look to see what the laws are in your state when it comes to homestead exemption. All right. But in general, when it comes to liens, yes, they can, and judgments, they can force the sale of your property immediately. So please be mindful and be careful. Ignorance of the law does not excuse you. A lot of these judges, especially those of you who live in what they call red states, where it's mainly Republican, they're not going to say, they're not going to really consider the fact that you didn't know the law. Okay, they're going to move ahead and do whatever it is that they need to do. They basically abide by the law. This is one of the reasons why I urge people not to just get out and vote, but to speak with your elected officials. Some of you may agree with this and some of you may not. All right. So, I want to bring this to your attention so that you are aware. Try as hard as you can, first of all, to avoid judgments. Pay all of your bills on time. All right, because yes, your credit card company can come for your house if they want to. Try to pay your bills on time. Try not to overspend, over leverage yourself, so that this way you can stay out of this type of trouble. Find out what the laws are, the environmental laws for those of you who can get a lien. Find out what is okay to do and what is not okay to do, so that you don't get into any type of trouble, if you will. And also, for those of you who live in an HOA environment, it would behoove you to also try to pay your HOA on time. And this is also why, even though where I live has an HOA, after my experience here, I try not to invest in properties where an HOA is involved, because one of the main reasons is because of that extra expense that, if not paid, can actually turn into a judgment or a lien. All right. So my friends, that's all I have for you tonight. Again, I will be dropping the link of the homestead exemption laws in each state on my YouTube video. Please feel free to share this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.